In this lesson, we're going to talk about value and color. Let's start by taking just some black paint and doing this. This is what we would call a dark value. Okay, so that's very dark. Now let's make it a medium value, or a medium dark. It's getting a little bit lighter. Now let's make it a lighter value. And now let's make it a real light value. So a real light value might be like that. So there are 4 values. Now the problem in painting with a lot of us is it's hard to tell if we put a color down, for instance, like this here. This is color. The question is, can we see what value that is? We need to be able to tell what value our color is. And it's tougher the brighter the color gets. Let's put this color down here like this. The brighter the color is, the harder it is to see what it is. Now it becomes harder once you move it up here and you see that orange there, and then you come over and it becomes very hard to see what value that is. Let's take the brighter the color, it seems to be tougher to do. Let's put a yellow down here. So if we put that yellow there, it's difficult to tell for sure. We can kind of get an idea if you put them side by side that this appears to be close to that and that might be close to that, but we're not sure. So part of the problem is when we're painting something in color is to know just how dark or light is it. Now this is a purple, so this is a purple here, and again you can hardly tell on the camera here that it's a purple because of the lighting, but you get a rough idea here that it's hard to tell if they are the right value. Now if we go over here and we look at a portrait, now if we've got this portrait of this girl here and we start looking at the colors, we need to know what value is that, what value is that, what value is that. So not only do we need to know the color, because that's her skin, so what's her color we want to paint her skin, and then what value is that. And so I want to show you a few little tips to help us do that. The first thing we can do is take, I've used these before, here's 2 white pieces of paper, and if we put those, put this next to the color and then put it next to the black and white, if we isolate our color, sometimes it's easier to tell by using these devices to tell how dark or light a color is. Now let's use it on the face. If we go over here like this and we put that color there and we're going to put this over here, now those are 2 dramatically different colors. The question is the darkness of the color, are they the same, or is one darker than the other? Let's take, this is also her skin, let's put it up here like that. Now what's darker, the blue where the skin is blue, or the yellow? Can we tell? It's difficult to tell. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways besides using squares to figure out if our color that we put down, if it is the right value. Okay, so here's a good test for us. I will take my brush, and one thing let's look at my palette here for a little bit. When we look at our colors here, we can tell like this is a green, that's a light value. That's a dark purple here, that's dark. We've got raw sienna, that's a lighter value. Of course, the orange we looked at. Yellows are lighter values. Blues are usually darker values, dark green. So if we're going to try to paint her, a good way to start out is not with color, but we're going to start out with black and white. I have my students try to paint something like this face with all these colors. A good exercise is let's try to block in the basic colors with black and white. So if I start out and I want to paint her here, let's say I want to paint her lips here. I'm going to come in here like this. Of course, that's the dark part of the lip, but that's going to come in here about like that. And then how dark are her, look at her lips there. So we have to paint this in black and white. We're going to give it a try. So we're going to put her, try to guess and see if her lips are about like that. And we'll come down here and put in her lips about like that there. So we're guessing that those values might be close to the same, but we're not sure. So let's try the side of her face, or let's go up here by her, right up here. Now that seems like a pretty dark color for her skin there, and that might be very scary, but you know, that's a pretty dark color. So we're going to come in here like this, and then it appears to be getting lighter as we go across here. So we're getting a lighter color, and then it gets of course it gets pretty dark in through here. I think we can see that this gets pretty dark through here. So if we're painting this in black and white, we're going to get pretty dark in through here, get that value right, and again, we're painting skin. Coming here like that. Let's go to the other side for a little bit. That's going to be pretty dark. This gets pretty dark in through here, like that, and then this gets pretty dark in through here. Now the nostril gets pretty dark, and once we put in the main features, it gets a little bit easier to understand. So let's take this color here and fade that out a little bit. This gets a little bit lighter. See how that color goes from dark to light. On a scale of 1 to 10, if black is 10 and 1 is white, what value is that? What value is that? So then as we cut across here like that, we come down to her eyeball. Let's go to her cheek down here. What color is, what value on a grayscale, what color is that cheek right here? So I'm going to guess it's about like this here. It gets pretty dark. And it's going to come across, it's going to come around here like this, it's going to come in through here like that, and it's going to cut right over her mouth here, like this here, and then it looks like it comes down here like this. You need to get the value right, and let's go ahead and carry that value right in through here, and right in through here like this, and it gets a little bit lighter right up there by her eye, and then this edge, this is another thing, is edges, but we'll soften that edge. And now let's look at the value on her nose. Is her nose, look at how red her nose is. Is that darker or lighter than that? Is it darker or lighter than some of the other colors? We're going to put that color in here like this, and it appears to be getting a little bit lighter as it comes up like that, and it goes over here like that. So this is being done quite quickly. Pull that down here like that, and then look at this color over here. This gets pretty dark up here under her hair. See how dark that gets through there? We get that like that, and we're going to come in and paint around this eyeball here. It gets darker through here, like this here. Then as we come down, it gets a little bit lighter as we're going to come right on through here. So we're thinking drawing in values. The drawing has to be right. But look at the darkness of this here compared to this. This appears to be quite a bit lighter than that. So even though it's her beautiful skin, we need to put a color over this and probably go over it kind of like this here, and maybe get through here and get darker just about like that through there, and it gets a little bit lighter through here. And that kind of happens like that there. And then let's go underneath her jaw. Gets pretty dark right through, her neck actually goes through here like that. And then her neck, if we could see that down through here, gets a little bit darker right through here, and then it comes down, gets lighter. Now as we go over here to this side of her neck, this is, you know, about like that here, gets a little bit lighter. And then, of course, if we look at how dark, now this is a dark area here. That's where her sweater goes. So her sweater goes in there like that. Her eyebrows, look at how dark her eyebrows are in here. Her eyebrows need to be really dark. They're really dark through here. That's a dark value. And then, of course, we wash some of that out. So we're going to try to make this eye darker here because it got washed away. That gets darker. That's okay there. This needs to get darker here and here. And then we go underneath her ear, but before we do that, let's look at this here. How dark or light is that? So that's a pretty light color. It's blue if you look at it, but let's try to see how light that is. That is not very dark. It's even lighter than that. And so that's the color for that side of the face. And then it gets we'll tone that down just a touch there, not quite so bright there. And then again, we come in and get quite dark, and we get under her ear, which is right here, and we go underneath the ear like that, and we come down, and this ties in here like that. And so we're starting to get an idea of how we'll lift this out, because that was wet, and that goes in here like that. And we're gonna get a little bit dark through here, and the hair, of course, gets pretty dark right up through here, comes here like this, and it gets pretty dark up through here, and that is what we're shooting for. Now that's a very quick sketch. One way to get an idea of are the values close is if you did a painting and you're not sure if it's right, even if it's in color, is turn the lights out and look at the painting in a very dim light. The dimmer the light gets, see that? The more we can see our values here. So you try to get an idea is if you really look at it in a dim light, you get an idea of where, how, and we can see how I'm a little bit too light here, and we can kind of correct it. We can see now that maybe we should get a little bit darker through here, but depending on how we light it. So dimming the lights helps give us an idea, are the values right? Are we close? Here's another thing we could do. Here's our picture, and we want to know, do we understand the value of our colors? You can do this with a painting or a photograph on the iPad or the iPhone or a smartphone. You'll notice that down below here under editing, they have something called tonal. Let's click on that for a minute. So what that does, that turns my color photograph into a black and white. Now again, let's go back to none. So there it's in color, here it's in black and white. See that there? We go back and forth, and that little app will help us to see how accurate our colors is. So using an iPad here can help us to figure out what the values are.